Okay guys, I'm going to show you how to make a super quick salmon. So first thing that I do is I go ahead and spray the pan here with coconut oil. And I like using coconut oil and not any kind of vegetable oil because vegetable oil just isn't that good for you. Kind of rots in your system. So not something that you should do. I usually like to use fresh garlic, but right now I'm out, so I'm going to go ahead and use pre-minced garlic. And just put a little bit in there, and that's right, I forgot to put a little bit of extra coconut oil. So, almost out here. There we go. I like my stuff nice and fatty. A lot of people think that fat makes you fat, but it's only sugar that really makes you fat. Fat does not make you fat. So, at any rate, my son has a very sensitive stomach, Jonathan, and so we're going to go ahead and put a little bit of ginger in here to help with the digestion. Not too much because then he won't like the taste. So, but just enough to where it helps out with his digestion. And so now what we're going to do is we're going to take some broccoli. I'm going to take this piece and save it for my blender to put in my soup. Let me go ahead and cut these up a little bit because he does not like the pieces to be very big. And let's go ahead and throw this on high heat. And let's just wait for a couple of minutes here. And usually when you get salmon, what you want to do is you want to get wild caught salmon. Farm raised, well, the big problem you have with farm raised is a lot of times they will give them things like corn, which have a lot of pesticides and insecticides and not so great stuff. And also, another big problem that you have with the corn, or I should say another big problem you have with farm raised, is the fact that a lot of times it's like right off the shore. And so if it's right offshore, what's happening is a lot of times you've got sewers and all kinds of other things that are dumping into that area. So your fish are pretty much, swimming around in sewage. So not a good thing for them. Okay, once I've got that spread out a bit, I'm going to go ahead and put my salmon Actually filled this container up with Himalayan sea salt. So it was originally just sea salt. It's now Himalayan sea salt. So put a little bit of that stuff on there. I also like to use this Badia Complete. So I actually got it at Dollar Tree, but it's really good. And what I used to do is I used to put water on this. There's Jonathan. But now instead what I do is I usually use chicken broth. But if I'm already making some chicken, what I do is I put the chicken, the chicken from the chicken broth from the chicken that I'm making right into it. Try to get just the broth and not any of the chicken, not too much of the vegetables. So I do want some in there to give a little bit of flavor to it. Turn this over. I want it sitting on top of some of the broccoli so it's not directly in the pan. We'll cover it for a minute. Another thing too that I should probably explain is I usually don't put a lot of salt or pretty much too much of anything in my chicken broth. Usually it's just chicken bones, not too much chicken meat. It's mostly just like the bones that I've got left over. I throw those in there, bring that water to a boil, and then I add a ton of vegetables in there, which I usually throw in the blender beforehand. Some carrots, some parsnips, some sweet potatoes, onions, just, a bunch of different vegetables, throw them in the blender, blend it up really good, and then just throw it into that pot and let it pretty much simmer overnight. And usually what I will do is I might put in like a little bit of chicken bouillon, or not that much. And then what I'll do is when I serve it, I'll add a tablespoon of olive oil, a little bit of salt, and some lemon juice. Oh yeah, and also some cilantro. I put all of that at like the bottom of the bowl that I'm serving in, or the bottom of the cup that I'm serving in, and then just basically pull out that broth, throw it in there, let it sit for a moment, and man, that stuff is so good. So like this, basically the broth that I'm putting in here is very bland. It's actually getting a little bit too dry, so I'm going to add a little bit more. And that should be good. Turn it over once more. And I have that fatty face sitting directly on the bottom of that pan. And that's pretty much done. Maybe a little tiny bit more seasoning. That's enough. We're done. Super quick, delicious, perfect. Jonathan, come